Right.
Hey,
Let's do it, man.
here we go.
Let's do it.
Hello, family. Thank you so much for being here. It is amazing to be able to host another show with Dr. David Silverman and Jay Matta today. And it's just amazing to have these two amazing souls with us today. And I'm still getting over all of these energies that have been bombarding all of us, and we're all going through it. We're all going through these emotional roller coasters, as you can say, and it's amazing. It really is amazing because where there's an emotional roller coaster, there's growth. So we are coming into the new 2023, and we are starting it off with an amazing high energy aptitude. So keep going higher, and never stop. And we appreciate everything that you've done, family, because without you, we would not be where we're at today. So thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say?
Oh, I'm so proud of him. He's so beautiful. He's come through so much. And I love who we are together.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
What a blessing to have a parent and a child that close, and I thanks for having me and Jay on, and I love being with you guys.
Thank you guys for coming into our experience, because you guys are just truly amazing. And to have met you guys in person was just an honor as well.
Yeah, likewise.
Right?
It was great.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very exciting when we all can get together as well. The whole family in this new 2023, if we all achieve the highest goal possible. For instance, like the business side of the ASEA is allowing us, well, if you think about it, we have been told so much through all of these truther communities that this is going to happen, that is going to happen, and we've just been sitting on our butts waiting for all of this, RV, Nasara Gasara, but it's not happening. But if we can put our gears in order and start doing things for ourselves, kind of like what you've been training all of us with, Jay, about with the ASEA, the business side of the ASEA, that right there is the Nasara Gasara, in my opinion.
I believe so. Yeah.
Let's watch our words and make it YouTube friendly. Those might be trigger words.
Oh, those might be.
Might be. Yeah.
We'll call it the NG.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, well, first of all, thank you as always. It's always good to be in your world. Yeah, you if there's any hope of those things happening, you have to have action, meaning that you have to live as if it's there, right? You just can't sit and put these things in a drawer and hope that, one day that, look at it as like, whatever, if it happens, and we're all blessed. But along the way, your universe will ask of you to take action. If you have the vision, your universe is going to say, take action on this thing. And then and only then, will you start to see these concepts come out. They may come out in different forms, but at the end of the day, the net result needs to be the same, right? You got wealth for you and your loved ones. You have freedom for you and your loved ones. That's at the end of the day. Are you really looking for the NG, or are you looking for what the NG gives you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we've done. And so we've with Dr. David's help, we've really taken that, and his guidance is that thought process of, and it's very liberating. It truly is very liberating to not to have to wait and realize that relief is in sight when, quite frankly, relief's always been here. So I just think that's kind of a sleight of hand, if you would. That's how I see it. I do. I don't know. What do you think, Dr. Dave?
Well, I mean, I started with ASEA as a concerned son because my father was ill. So I started with the product. I mean, I had no interest in the business side of it, but you know, people would look at me and say, "Wow, you're successful. You're a doctor. You own your own practice, your own surgery center." There's a lot of pressures when you own your own business. A lot of pressures. You're the last one to get paid. Insurance companies, you don't have control of what they're going to pay you. Take it or leave it. And I've been through parts of my life where I was really in debt. And Jay, we were talking about this, just juggling credit card debt. That was a way of life for several years for me. Like, get an offer in the mail, shift your balance over, and no interest for 6 months. Let's do it. Playing these games, and we all have more control over our lives than we think. I mean, a lot of people just are like a balloon in the wind. I mean, the wind blows it. There's nothing you can do. You let it go. It's just going to go wherever it's going to go. Where if you had a plane or some kind of engine, you can control where you go. Again, I started as a customer with this product, but after I saw what it did and saw it was patented and saw the people running the company were really good. And I had done network marketing before and said, I'm never doing it again. And I can't tell you how many people in my business has said to me initially, never doing that again. But they saw the product work, and then they met the people running the company. And I'll just mention that the international convention this coming year, a chance for people to meet everybody that you, Kid and Candy, you met, is in Fort Worth, Texas in September. It's coming, so not that close. But when I met the people and said, I'm going to do this, a year after almost seeing what the product did. But again, like you're saying, I think people just react. And, we look at 2023 is about to start. People make resolutions. And whether it's food or exercise or relationships or making money, business, usually by February, the resolution's gone because people just they don't know. Sometimes they know what to do and they don't do it. Sometimes they just don't have the opportunity. Well, this is an opportunity that's rare and it gives people control. And there's a genetic testing company. It's like Ancestry.com. It's called 23andMe because there's 23 sets of chromosomes in the body, right? And I just thought to myself, 23andMe. What a great way to end 22, just getting ready for 23. Say it's my year. I want abundance. I don't want to be the balloon shifting around, praying that my crypto goes up or that prices come down or God, can I fill my tank? It's like we all have control. It's just people that are proactive say, hey, I want to make money. If I can do it in a way that really helps people, then that's a blessing. That's like going to heaven, right? I mean, you're doing good. You're not just trying to make money by ripping people off. You're helping people. I'm excited about the new year.
I'm so excited about the new year, and I know so many people just keep getting into the thought process of, man, it's going to get worse before it gets better. But that's just a reality that one experiences. I don't subscribe to that. I just, I got to experience through 2022 what the magic of mind, body, spirit does for me, has done for me, for Masia. And then along the way came this beautiful thing called prosperity too, which was quote unquote a byproduct of it. So that was 2022, and going into 2023, from that experience is we're here at the back end of the year of 2022 is to really say to people like, look, you know what, what do you got to do for you to be able to really just kind of pivot yourselves for you and your loved ones, right? And do you want to, Gail, want to go through another year? Do you really want to go through another year? And that's not necessarily rhetorical, because if your answer is yes, then do your thing. You know what I mean? But if it's no, you know, when you take a look at businesses, you know, you take a look at a couple of things. You take a look at, well, what is the business I'm getting into? How will people react to that business? Will people want to buy what I'm talking about? Can it sustain? Will it always take me to do it? You know what I mean? You always take a look at these things. So when I looked at this, who's going to help me, right? So when I looked at it, I looked at it as this, as like, okay, well, based on what I know, there's just absolutely nothing like this. So we've talked about this on many, many shows with you guys, and then we know there's nothing like this. It's not another lotion, potion, or shake. It belongs in its own aisle. So I was able to check that off the box, that this was unique. There was no other competitive thing like it. So that was that. Then I looked at, okay, well, okay, now I got that business down, that part of it down. Now who's going to help me? I met Dr. David there. So, you know, then I know realized, okay, well, now there's that level of credibility. There's that level of, you know, success. There's that none of the woo-woo kind of stuff, very pragmatically speaking. Who's going to help me? So I looked at that and I just followed that very specifically. So when people are looking at, okay, what am I going to do for 2023? Because I know a lot of you are. Believe me, I know you are. You're like, oh God, I can't do this again. Just look at these things. Just really kind of compartmentalize it for 1 second. Okay, what's the product? Check it off the list. We got it right here. This will stand the test of time because we're human beings. We're spirits having a human experience, and we have something called a body. So we need something like this, right? So this will stand the test of time in some form or another. So we get to talk about that. And then again, you know, someone to be able to guide us through that process. It's great to be in a business where everybody wants what you got. Okay, is all I'm saying. And that's been my experience with ASEA.
And also, it's great to be in a business where everybody wants you to be successful.
Right.
That's right.
I mean, we were
Yeah.
talking about that earlier. You know, I had been in network marketing. I got burned in it, and it really caused a lot of relationship stress with me and my wife, and financial stress. And when I talk about credit card debt, that was the time. And I didn't go through the checklist to evaluate it properly. I love network marketing. I mean, I love it if it's done right. It's just that a lot of bad people involved in network marketing. And no matter how much Debbie, my friend, who told me about this, said, David, I know you're not interested in the business. You're only interested for your dad's health because he's sick. But when it helps, will you refer people to me? I said, sure. So I kept sending people. They kept saying thank you. So finally, I looked at the business side of it. But the thing that I didn't check, a lot of things checked off: patented, intellectual property, not reverse engineerable, immediate validation. Someone who gets the product with a money back guarantee, they don't need the 30 days to validate it. They only need 10 minutes to validate that this is real. And then it's like, okay, if they want more in life, it's like, show me how this business works. But it was patented, worked immediately, timing, but it was the people running the company. Debbie kept saying, this is not like Amway or New Skin or Beachbody. And I nothing wrong with those companies, but I think many of us have been approached by people in network marketing that were kind of annoying or exaggerating or lying. And that, to me, that's what network marketing was. And I decided to go do what you did, Kid and Candy. And Jay, you went and met the people running the company. And I begged you. I said, please, I know you love the product, you believe in it, but when you meet these people and you can see that this really is a biotech company that's developed something that is a breakthrough for humanity, that had the balls and the integrity not to sell out to the pharmaceutical company who wanted to buy it, who would have just taken it and made it go away. They don't want people being well. They need sick people. And pharmaceutical companies do a lot of good, but anybody that thinks pharmaceutical companies are in it to help humanity, I think they've lost their mind. I think we all know with everything that's happened the last couple of years, especially. But I met them, and I sat around the table with the founders of the company, the CEO, the president, general counsel, and there was one point we were all crying about what this means to humanity and that we need to get it out there. And they decided on word of mouth marketing, which they knew nothing about. I mean, Vertus Norton, who started the company, was in charge of international strategy of a traditional business, and not a little business. I mean, ASEA is going to do about $200 million this year. People say that's a lot of money. It's really not. he was in charge of international strategy of a company that was doing $36 billion a year. He was in charge of international strategy of it. And there's a video with, I can share a little bit where to find it. It tells the story. But we were sitting around the table crying, and I said, I'm in. I'm gonna help you bring this to the world. And so bring it to the world means you tell people, they tell people, they tell people. So if you tell 10, every time those 10 people order their product from the company, not from me, I don't inventory it. The company ships it to them with a money back guarantee. Every time those 10 people get their product, I get paid. Or if it's you, you get paid. And what if those 10 people did what you did? What? Found 10 people that wanted to sleep better, have a better, you look younger, feel better, whatever, breathe better. They each told 10, that's 100. They each tell 10, that's 1,000. They each tell 10, that's 10,000. They each tell 10, that's 100,000. They each tell 10, it's 1,000,000. And what did you do? You taught 10 people about it and taught them to teach 10, and the company pays you for that entire ripple because they spend no money on advertising. It's a brilliant business model. These founders had no idea what it was. They thought it was like some scammy thing. They didn't really investigate it as a true business model. And when they did, the guy who ran international strategy for Kraft Foods International, he says this is the way we need to bring it to market because we're going to go supplement, not drug, cosmetic product, not drug. Although it's a lot more than that, obviously. That's what they decided to do, and it's powerful. So the average person who may feel like go to the gas pump and God, look at the price of gas. I can't drive this week, or I can't buy bread, or I can't buy hamburgers. I have to pay for gas. The average person that's the balloon blowing around in the wind. I'm looking outside at the golf course and it's a little windy. It's like, wow, you know what? I have control because the company spends no money on advertising. 37.5 cents of every dollar goes to us, goes into the compensation plan to create that ripple effect. The rest of the money it's for running production, R&D, all the 34 offices they have around the country in 34 countries. They run the business. We have no headaches. I have no expense. My expense is my cell phone bill, and I'm going to pay that anyway. It's just an amazing thing, network marketing, if it's done right. And if it's done right, it's a beautiful thing for the average man to not just be or woman blowing around on the wind because prices are up and maybe their investment in crypto or silver, they're just praying for it to go up. Meanwhile, you got to live, and why not thrive? And last thing I'll say, people look at people like me and say, wow, you're really successful in network marketing. I paid my dues. I read the books. I learned what to do. I learned what didn't work, and I learned how to do this. But there are people in network marketing that make $1 million a month, $3 million a month. You can make a lot of money because that ripple goes out. But what most people don't realize is that most people that get involved in network marketing, they want to make $500 a month while they sleep. That's what they want. If they can make $500 a month while they sleep, whether they're working or not, that changes a lot in their lives. But when they get to the $500 a month, they're like, wow, I got $500 a month. Why can't I get $5,000 a month? And by the way, the company pays you weekly. SIA pays you weekly. But one thing I tell people, wherever you create your income, whatever your income stream is, don't spend it all. Rich people, what they do is they take the money they earn, a percentage of it. They don't live to that level, and they invest it in things. There's where you invest in your crypto. There's where you invest in things that if you lose it, you lose it. But that's all you have to do but you need some source of income coming in so that you can invest into that, right? And so some people will buy a franchise. McDonald's franchise now I think is $2.5 million to buy a franchise. It's a lot of money. Battery stores I think are $80,000, whatever. But this is $40, and the company does everything. All we do is tell people about this and guide them on where to get the information, which is what I do. And what you do, Jay?
A real life story, and maybe this will be relevant for people, is yesterday we got notice in our condo that our condo dues were going up, right? And Yeah, and so what I noticed was around the mailbox area in the common area, the condos, people check their mail. It was like a mob, and everybody was like, "Oh, the condo's going up, blah 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 blah, whatever, a couple $100." And I'm thinking to myself the whole time, and I'm just looking for it. I'm trying to find within myself how that can bother me, right?
It's
And
nice not to care.
I couldn't find it, and I couldn't find within myself the feeling that they were having of why this was bothering them, because I made a decision to be like, I'm not going to let that kind of stuff bother me. And if my life's depending on 100 or 200 bucks a month, holy shit. You know
I
what I
know.
mean? I gotta figure out how to hit the reset button, because I never want to do that. I never want to be one of those people sitting around the mailbox bitching and moaning because my condo fee went up $100 or $75 or whatever. I'll be like, whatever, they got a business to run too. It's all good. It all balance
Dude,
out.
it's so funny you said that, Jay. We just had a condo associate meeting, and the reason all condos, we have a house in Maryland and we have a condo here. The reason it's going up is because insurances are going up, and
Right.
they none of the condos can control insurance companies raising their fees, so they have to pass it on or cut services. And so what our condo association did was they said they're cutting services. And so Wendy and I went to the meeting, and it's like we don't want our services cut. And there was a percentage of people that said, well, we're not paying, we don't want to pay more. So we had a vote, and we voted, we raise the fees because we don't want the services cut. And I'm telling you that $500 a month for people, it gives people choices. Maybe I'll play a video if you don't mind of Debbie, her house was being foreclosed on, and she was bankrupt, right? Life threw her curveballs. Her husband came out of the closet, left her with two kids, and she was not young anymore. And she had to go back to work, and some life kept throwing her curveballs. And a lot of people say, "Oh, woe is me, woe is me." Well, she took action on it, but that 500 a month, I have so many men and women tell me what a blessing that is and how it changes things. Just going to the grocery store and not having to buy the vegetables and stuff that has the sticker on it like final sale and it's half rotten. It's like buy what you want to buy and not think about it. And when you just said that about the condo association fees goes up, I thought the same thing at my meeting, thinking these people were not proactive enough. Or maybe they thought, oh, I want to get involved with something like that. That's a pyramid scheme. Really? Well, I don't give a damn if prices go up. Do I want to pay it? No, I'd rather not pay it, but I pay it. My daughter's here. She's flying home tomorrow back to New York City. She's like, got to, I want to stay till Saturday. And I love to have her stay. She goes, but it's $200 more to change the flight. I said, sweetie, just change the flight. I'd rather you stay for 2 more days. Does money make you happy? No, but I tell you what, having my daughter here for 2 more days, I can't put a price on that. It's just, but who cares?
Right?
Yeah, it's so beautiful like that. I love it. And it's just like just the freedom of not being, and then it doesn't become about the money. Because then what happens is, if when you start to have that relationship with money, then money comes to you a lot faster. It really does, because you're not so like about it. You're just like whatever, and it is what it is. Just make more, because it's like the way I'm perceiving it through this experience with ASEA, because kid, as you eloquently called it, I believe this opened up my God power spark. I really do. And so my connection with source, my connection with spirit is so much more profound. My association with a lot of things is so different that I look at it as like, well, okay, it's like food and water, just make more. It's like it's already here. Like it's like we got an abundant world, so just make more. It doesn't mean I have to swing the hammer more. I don't look at it as like, I don't look at things as like stacking them on my plate anymore. I looked at them as coming into the circle of life, and it just gets part of the conveyor belt. That's all it is. So it doesn't add any more things to me. It just things just kind of happen. And there's those people, well, money's not the most important thing, but it's not, but it's in the top three. Let's just be real about it. You know what I mean? And to say that it's not, and to say that it's not important, or you have to at some point in time in your life not wake up and be like woulda, coulda, shoulda. I mean, all we're here to do is to try to help you. I mean, call it whatever you want, call it, feel or think about this whatever you want. But if you are, gosh, I mean, if you're at a place where, again, I always say this, but people rely upon you, listen, give yourself a great life. Give yourself a choice where people do have to raise their money, and you don't have to buy shitty food at a grocery store, and you don't know and you know what reality is. We don't even really know what we're eating anymore. So kind of right now, eating at the finest restaurants is almost going to be a necessity.
And organic, getting organic.
Yeah.
It definitely, I agree with you. It gives you choices. And when people say, "Oh, money's not important," they've just given in and decided that they're going to settle. And it's kind of like blinders, because having a plan B, this is a business people start on the side. They can keep being an accountant, they can be a teacher, they can be an Uber driver, whatever. This is on the side, but it builds residual income. So you're not trading time for money. It takes a little time to get the machine going. When you get going, the money just comes whether you're working or not, because you get paid over and over and over again. But it's people that say money's not important. I think they just decided to settle, and not having a plan B. It's like, I do a presentation on Zoom, and I have a picture of an ostrich with his head in the sand, and it says people generally don't see a need, don't see a need, or don't want to see a need for a plan B until they need one. And then I have a picture of a virus popping up. It's like, wow, look at that. Look what happened that we didn't see coming. We didn't see COVID coming, whether it was planned or not. No one saw it coming. Look what it did to the economy. Look people got fired because they didn't get vaccinations. That's the balloon blowing in the wind. Like, don't have control over it. Build the business now while either things are you really need the money, or you don't. Build this thing on the side. So if something happens to your plan A, you can say, that's okay. It doesn't matter. And that's what I did. It started as a plan B thing. I shot a video called 3yearstofreedom.com with the number 3. 3yearstofreedom.com. I think it's 5 minutes. And bottom line is, it's like, look, this is not get rich quick. Anybody that tells you in network marketing it's get rich quick, run, because that's bullshit. Anything that's worth anything, it takes work, effort, and energy. The nice thing is that this is, like, to me, the perfect company to be with, but also you have the support system in place. It's not like sign up and good luck to you. It's like, well, what do I do? Well, it's like tying your shoe. Let me teach you how to do this. I was voted mentor of the year by the other diamonds in the company, which is a bigger honor to me than being awarded business builder of the year last year, because I love helping people who want to be helped. I can't help people who don't want to be helped. And Jay and you guys vetted the product for 3 months and said, I'm in, right? Kid and Candy, you vetted it for a while and said, we're going to bring this to the world. You never said, let's make money. So people need this in their lives. They need to know about the product and the opportunity. Let them choose what they want to do with it. And I'm thrilled to do this. To me, I'm sitting here. My friends would consider this work. What are you doing? I got some work to do. It's really not work. I mean, this is a joy. If I was in my office, given an injection for plantar fasciitis, or the hospital doing bunions, it's like, yeah, I kind of enjoyed doing it, but it was like, it was work. It was like I had to do it over and over again. I had to do that to provide for my family. I don't have to do this anymore. I can just ride off into the sunset. But I just get off on helping people with the product and helping people make money.
You know what I like about the company is that as soon as we started with the business side of it, we weren't alone. We had you guys as a support system the whole way, and that is what eased our mind into it. And yeah, this is our plan B, and it's what's allowing Candy and I to do what we do on the side of helping people, of staying in service too, and not treating people like
Business.
like a business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about this, is that it's given us the opportunity to be able to, be comfortable and live, and not be comfortable and try and survive.
Yeah.
So we are now living and not surviving, and that's why we wanted to bring this to you family, is because this is a great opportunity for you guys to be able to live comfortably, not live as you're trying to survive what is happening with all of these energies and what's happening in the world.
We're
Well, you,
experiencing a real trend right now with the real estate market moving down, and a lot of people all over the world are seeing that in the markets. And I talk to a lot of realtors, and I got a friends in those businesses, and they said, "Oh, there's a point in time not too far away, maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago, they didn't even really need to worry about making calls, right? Now they're everybody's best friend because the markets are there. Nobody's doing. I mean, these markets are correcting themselves. So people in these specific industries, real estate, money lending, whatever, used to making tens of thousands of dollars a month. All of a sudden, this brakes hit. The brakes are starting to hit again, and that's the real thing. And it's okay. It just doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything other than the fact that be smart about it and look at what's out there for you.
Plan
I
B.
mean, yeah. Like what do they say? How many people say? I don't know the exact things, but all that money that was made in the Great Depression. You know what I mean? So
Opportunities arise. If you don't mind, can I play the 3 minute, 2.5 minute video with Debbie?
Yeah, of
Sure.
course.
Cool. I can share my screen, but let's tell you that, I said life through her curveballs, and when you watch this, it's 2.5 minutes, and you can write down the site because you can go listen to other stories. They're all 2.5 minutes. Um, this, well, you'll hear, I talk about having a plan B. She was drowning. And when you're drowning, you're not thinking about buying good vegetables or organic food. You're drowning. You're only focused on one thing, and that's taking your next breath of air. If you're drowning in water and you are doing everything to keep your head above and to just breathe, right? You're not thinking about nice things. You don't want to live, and that's kind of where she was. And now well, I'll show you now. This picture on my screen is from a magazine that we shot. These are all diamonds in the company. Everybody looks like they're real fancy people. Let me tell you, some of these people were completely broke. And this was just a fun magazine that we shot. Some of these people never worn a tuxedo in their lives. But let me just show you, Debbie is right here in the middle. And she's not the top of the company. I mean, this lady right here, by the way, everybody looks younger than they used to. She just had her 12th grandchild. This is taken just before COVID, so this is about almost 3 years ago. But
Wow.
she just had her 12th grandchild. She's 70 years. Debbie, 70 years. She brought this to me and Wendy here.
Dang.
Right? It's amazing. But these are all people. I think two of these people were pretty well off financially. Most everybody else was struggling. Just looks like a bunch of fancy people because of the magazine. But I put this site together. Oops, I need to share. Give me 1 second. I did one thing wrong. I gotta go to share with sound. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So I put this site together. It's called gettingyoungerclub.com. And explanation of the product, how it works, how to validate it quickly. And people say, well, why is it marketed this way? Remember I said they refused to sell out to a pharmaceutical company, which, man, they had me at hello. Anybody that gives the pharmaceutical company the finger and says, no, you can't have this breakthrough because you idiots are gonna bury it. Watch that. Here's a 5 minute. You went through the production facility, how they make the product. You guys saw this, but your listeners can take a tour through and see how they make it. And there's 3 years to freedom. See here where it says real people, real business success stories, 2 to 3 minutes each. So, and the password says Redox. So when I click it, you have to put the password Redox, REDOX, and it's going to take you here. And there's just a few, like 10, 12 little short stories, all different people. But I'm going to play Debbie's because I adore Debbie. I thank God she brought me this gift. And I look at I knew where she was when this was brought to her. Her story is different than mine, but it's powerful. And I love it. I just love it because she's not a doctor, right? And let's listen to this.
My ASEA story started 8.5 years ago. So I was an interior designer. I owned my own company and I was very successful. I stepped down in about 2007 to work for a man who had an amazing children's website. And unfortunately in 2008, he went bankrupt. And I was left with really nothing coming in. I had been divorced and I was a single mom. And it was very, very scary. I had looked and looked and looked for jobs for 6 months, went through all my savings, was completely bankrupt pretty much. I found a job as a server in a restaurant and I was working from 10 in the morning till midnight or 1 or 2 every single day to make enough money to stay in the home. When I got the letter of foreclosure, I just didn't know what to do. I felt pretty hopeless. I went upstairs, I got on my knees, I said the biggest prayer I've ever said, and the very next morning before I ever got out of bed, a friend of mine called from Colorado to say, Debbie, there's been a breakthrough, and it's something you might want to take a look at. And I jumped out of bed, I looked up, I said thank you, I ran downstairs, I watched that video, I was so excited, and I decided to do this as a business myself. And it saved my home. In just working 20 minutes a day, I was able to contact enough people, and after a year and a half, one of my proudest moments, I was able to pay for my son's wedding rehearsal, which I never would have been able to do a year and a half earlier. I wouldn't have even been able to give him a wedding gift, and it's just changed my life. I always wanted to be able to support myself and never have to depend on anyone else. And I just really, really wanted to make myself proud and then make my family proud. And being able to show them that I could do this and I could make a living while making a difference. It enabled me to go to the grocery store and buy groceries and not have to worry about not paying my electric bill until I could make enough money to pay for that. And trust me, we had not much to begin with. We were eating a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and things like that just to get through. So it was tough. It was very tough for a while, definitely. And ASEA just gave me my life back.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
I love Debbie too.
Yeah, there's so many people that really are struggling, and sometimes people look at me and say, well, you're a doctor and that's why you're successful. And she's in the Millionaires Club. I mean, she is what's called an ambassador diamond, and she's never focused on making money. She's focused on making people aware of this breakthrough and the opportunity for people to stop struggling or settling or worrying about money. And when you take those, I mean, we're not focusing on the product here, we're focusing on the business, but it was alluded to earlier by Jay that, if you're struggling, it affects your health too. It affects your relationships because you're stressed, because it's nice to take that money problem off the table. And people who are willing to share a good thing, they'll get rewarded for it in love and hugs and in money with this business.
That you have to be able to, and then the spiritual aspect of this is that, if you're not embracing what the possibilities are, like so many people think about, well, let me go to the next level and I can escape this. But for you to level up, you got to master where you're at. You know what I mean? So, you gotta work with what we got here in this three-dimensional world, let's call it, right? So you gotta work with how do I balance out my mind, my body, my spirit, my food and everything like that. So once you do that, you get more. It's just how the universe moves. But if you shit on things that the universe gives you as gifts and says, try this out here, and you're like, oh no, that's only an evil thing, or we don't need that, or I don't want to be one of those people that it's all about the money, then you've just effectively shit on what God has given you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have. So just understand that thought process. Because if you are saying that, you know exactly where you're at. Because people who have it don't say those things. They say, hey, let's help others get along the way. And if you can look at when you see people with success and you say, okay, that's a spirit that has now figured this human experience out, that's what we want to be celebrating. We want to know that, hey, someone cracked the code. There's a way. You know what I mean? Because all we're doing is trying to figure this life. We don't know, right? All we got is theories and stuff, and these theories and stuff keep us in a job, yeah. But that's all we ever have, right? So nobody really knows, right? Do they really know? So if we can realize that someone has shown us the way, that means it's real. That means there is a way. So we should learn from that. We should be open to that. And if we do that, then I believe the collective consciousness will merge closer together, faster together, and I believe a lot will start to live the life that only people talk about. But don't go into 2023. Don't go into 2023 if you don't want to, unless you want to. But if you don't want to,
the people who run this world, and I think we've gotten to the point where we know it's really it partially governments, but it's more corporations. They want the sheep continuing. They want to keep people in their jobs and have all kinds of distractions for them, whether it's sports or entertainment or whatever it is, right? To distract them from the drudgery. But life doesn't have to be that way. And it, like I say, 3 years putting in consistent effort. Debbie said in that, which was true, because I remember she did this 20 minutes a day. She was working from 10 a.m., 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to midnight, 10 a.m. to midnight, serving at 60 years old, serving in a restaurant, and sometimes till she said till 1 o'clock in the morning. So she's working 14 to 17 hour days. That's and worrying about paying for the electricity in the grocery store. That's struggling. And how long can you do it? I just adore her, and she's part of our support team.
I want to say too, just on a last note too, is that if it's important to you, I'm here to help. I'm happy to help. You all know, and a lot of your viewers by now know who I am, and I'm here to guide you through this. We're here to guide you through this. We are showing a way that life is just going to be great should you be prepared for it and want to get prepared for it. We would love to take you by the hand. We'd be honored to. We'd be privileged. But same token, it's got to be important to you for it to be important to us.
Exactly.
Well, look, as simple as it gets, right? How do you have success in this business? With the product, we say you drink it, you wear it, and if you want to make money, you share it. And that's what we do. We help people, guide them on how to share it to create their own ripple effect. Because I guarantee you, all the people one day will be on this product. It's just a matter of time. And if you don't believe me, go put the gel on 10 people that have pain. Have them rate their pain on a scale of 1 to 10. Put it on 3 times in 5 minutes. And by the 10th minute, just takes 10 minutes, ask them how they feel. And what you see happen will make it very, very clear that it's just a matter of time before everybody knows the secret. And right now, it's just this hidden gem that no one really knows about. It's like we're sitting with Bill Gates in his garage, and he just put together Windows. And I don't know if you all remember what computers used to be like, DOS, IBM
We got
DOS,
the DOS, yes.
type in codes and stuff. And this guy makes this thing, and he's like, this is going to change the world, right? And
It did.
Steve Jobs, these guys. And look at the money these people made. And this is when you put the gel on 10 people who are hurting 3 times in 5 minutes, and watch what happens to 9 of them in minutes, and then go do that with some other type of thing like Voltaren gel or whatever. It's like, my God, you have something that's as safe as water that does that. We've got an opportunity here. And when opportunity knocks, you got to at least open the door to see what it is. You can't just, like you say, you can't just say, no, I'm not interested. Like you said, people will shit on it. It's like, hey, you have no idea. And if your life is that bad, or your life's not where you want it to be, it certainly is worth evaluating this. And I don't try to convince anybody. I'm like, hey, we got a gift from God here. You want to look at it, look at it. If you don't, I respect that. You'll be on it one day. Please come back to me when you're ready.
Yeah, exactly.
So, can I share something? I have, our HVO family knows that Kid and I have worked through many, many different mindsets in releasing programs that are not good, not healthy. And Kid he presented something to me probably a good 6 months ago, and that was to bring a journeyman's tool chest rollaway into the kitchen and remove one of the counters. And I'm like, I could just picture that in my head, what it would be like if I came into a house and I saw a journeyman's tool chest in the kitchen. And I'm like, I'm not sure. Well, now I'm seeing, through all the meditation, I'm seeing different programs coming up and running in my mind. And now I'm asking the right questions. Why would I say no to that? How is it that we could do it that would appease my eyes? And so this is what I want you to do is to look at why you would turn your face away from it, or why you would say no, or why you wouldn't want it, or why you wouldn't have that conversation. I have a relative that I'm very, very fond of. And this person has not checked the mindsets that come into his mind. And 59 years old and still not married because he's expecting that the universe is going to drop this beautiful woman on his lap. But he doesn't leave the house, he doesn't work, he doesn't... This mindset, the fact that he didn't ask the right questions, had led him to a place of depression and to a place of where he feels like he's in a deep, deep well and he doesn't know how to get out of it, and he's not willing to talk to anyone who could help. Now, do you want to be where we are, where we're always evaluating what is coming into our mind and looking for the reason why we are not saying yes, why we are not considering things? Why not have the conversation and ask the questions so you don't end up in the same place that I see my beloved family member?
If you change your paradigm, you change what you attract. Paradigm, consciousness, attraction. So if you change your foundation, which is the paradigm, you change whatever gets attracted to that paradigm to allow the attraction to happen for the reaction through action.
For instance, we went to a chef store yesterday, and kids said, I'm going to get this for the kitchen. And I said, okay. Well, he brings it into the kitchen, and I threw a fit because I didn't like it. And what I did was I complained, and so he got after me, and I went and took my shower, and this is where I always have my revelations. And in the shower, my team said, why did you bitch about that? Well, because I was unhappy about it. Why didn't you ask the right question? Well, what's the right question? Would you teach me how to use this? Oh, shit. So there I was apologizing to my son and saying I take ownership of that. And this is what I should have done. And so I'm asking you now, would you forgive that attitude? And would you teach me how to use that so that I can see something different than I've ever used? And he said, sure.
Well, one thing that's sad when you talk about your relative who you love is that he's isolated himself. And one thing is you have to be exposed to new things, and you become who you hang out with and who you associate with, because you pick up things. And kid, you brought something into the house that you never would have been aware of it, Candy, right? I mean, so here it is, but your relative is just sitting there in a shell waiting for a beautiful woman to fall on his lap. Well, there's only one place that's going to happen. He's going to have to pay a little money for it, but it'll happen. But it's delusional to think that things are just going to happen. But that's the way most of the world operates, and it's sad. I think it's instilled as children, or we just get beaten down, and maybe in fact, network marketing people have been in network marketing companies that got burned. They got burned again. They're like, I'm not doing that again. It's like, when I was practicing podiatry, people would come to me and say, I've been to this doctor, didn't do anything. This doctor didn't do anything. This doctor didn't do anything. And I help them. They're like, my God, that's amazing. It's like, well, you thank God you didn't stop going. I mean, you could have just quit, right? And there are good doctors, there are bad doctors. There are good lawyers, there are bad lawyers. There's good network marketing companies, there are bad ones. But if someone wants to change their life, you just can't sit and pray it's going to happen. You got to pay attention. Like you said, God will send you stuff, but you got to look at it. You can't just dismiss it because of previous experiences.
Yeah, the other thing too is like, if you think about it, like when you talk about being with the right people or surrounding yourself in the right environment, this is pretty crucial. I mean, if you look at like network marketing in and of itself, I mean, to me, it's the concept of it by becoming abundant by helping other people become abundant. How is that not a heavenly thing? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it's not. So when people say to you, "Oh, are you one of those?" Think about where they're coming from. Like, why would you know what I mean? Think about that feeling, if you would, that has gotten them to there. Because I think every adult person, as we know, has been in some form of network marketing because they felt and understand logically the concept of becoming abundant by helping other people become abundant. So just because one doesn't make it in one for whatever reasons or another doesn't mean to give up. Just again, keep on the search on that. But it's important to keep your high vibes up, right? So you have to do that. And really today, 2023, this is what I'll also share is that this to me is like times are just getting different. Times are just, it is what it is. You have to make more money. You have to eat cleaner. You have to be surrounded with the right people. So if you're around people that are like, and you're social and you want to be the eagle because eagles don't fly in formation and you want to be that person and you're around people, oh, you're in one of those again, then I would consider just do what you got to do. I mean, do what you got to do for those that rely upon you the most, because you know what? Because at the end of the day, and you got stuff or people that are relying on you, you're going to need to go. There's a whole set of rules that are coming our way, and we're just saying, there's ways to be prepared to be able to understand and manage these rules, or you're not. You're going to just go. I mean, that's the thing, and I don't want to use fear as a motivator for you to make your decisions. It's really pragmatically speaking, things are different. I don't make up the gas prices. I'm not a food distributor. You know what I mean? I don't do these. I'm not into real estate, but I see what happens. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So just if you're around people right now more than ever, surround yourself with energy that doesn't get rid of the energy that doesn't make you feel prosperous.
Look, Pete, look, I have a lot of friends who I'm still very good friends with and family members who said no to this. I love them, but I knew where I was going to go with this. When I saw this product and I said, I know where I'm going to be. And some of the people were like, oh, that's kind of silly, whatever. And they're trying to make me feel bad. And these are people who are friends of mine. But then the real good friends did. And they're like, hey, good luck to you. Good luck to you. Well, now I'm 62 years old. I take no medications. I've been doing this for 10 years. I take no medications. I play golf every year. I come to Florida for the winter. I have the life that I want. I don't have to do this anymore. I mean, I'm looking at the golf course. I'm going to play golf in a little while. In fact, tomorrow, someone in my business is a golf pro. She's going to come down and play. I don't say ha ha to those people, but in my mind, I'm like, hey, I told you, they're bitching and moaning about the weather up north. They're bitching and moaning about their job. When are they going to be able to retire? When are you going to retire, Joe? I don't know, man. Hey, you're 62. What do you think? I really don't know. I don't know. They're living for summer vacations. And it's like, 3 years to freedom.com. 3 years to freedom.com. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do it. And it's not a race. Jay, you crushed it. You're going faster than I went with it, right? You're going to surpass me, which is a beautiful thing in this business, that someone can come in and do better than you, right? That's what you want. That's the way God intended it. Don't hold back trade secrets because you want more. Empower people to soar, right? And this, like I say, 23andMe, that genetic testing lab, what a great time for people to say, you know what, I'm changing my life. By the way, just so you know, for people that do call you before the end of the year, when you invest in this, right, it's $40 to become an associate. People invest in product to test it out, $300 to $1,000, but it's all money back guaranteed. But if you do it this year, it's a tax write-off for this year. It's called a business expense. Every dime you put into it, when you buy your product, if you do it before the 31st of December, it counts as a tax write-off for this year. And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, having your own home-based business, you can write off a lot of things that people aren't aware of, that the average person just pays their taxes to the IRS, not knowing that if they had a home-based business, they could be holding on to a lot of that money.
That's awesome.
So this is a perfect time to wrap up. This has been really enlightening. It's been beautiful. I've enjoyed your guys' energies.
Right.
And if you are part of the ASEA team, Don't be surprised if I reach out and give you a ring.
Me too? Do I get a ring?
Of course.
It's just the other people.
Of course, Jay.
All right. Kind of checking in on that one. I'm gonna be left out. Hey, thanks for having us on, and thank you for your family to be able to just listen to us. And again, our human appeal to you that we're finding great ways. We're finding great ways out there. So check it out with us. It's great times ahead.
Hey,
Well-
happy and healthy New Year to everybody.
And God bless you all.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
guys. All right, family. Keep doing what you're doing because everything that you're doing is changing this world. And remember, it's the smallest things that matter the most. And you guys are the ones that's causing the ripple effect. Make sure to keep those ripples going because those ripples is what's turning into waves. And those waves is what's crashing down upon this new world. So keep going. Keep moving forward. We love you. And we will see you guys soon.
Probably not going to want to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Always go with the choice that scares you the most. Because it's the choice that's going to help you grow.
Wow.
I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes.
Hey, best friend. Wait. To the person seeing this, I know you're tired. I know you're fed up and so close to breaking. But remember, you have strength within you even when you feel weak. Keep fighting, best friend.